Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you an example of an intro similar to what you just saw, but not exactly the same. But I'm going to break down for you through example exactly how this intro that I'm going to show you is created. So here we go. Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create the animation for what you saw in the intro, and I'm not going to show you how to create those three objects. I'm just going to show you the process of animating them. So here we go. Okay, I'm going to slow down both the entry sequence and the exit sequence so that you can get a better idea of what those three objects are going to do. Okay, let me describe to you what it just did. You got three objects there: the picture, the blue text, and the red text. And the entry sequence, the picture comes in from the right and comes over to the left and then stops. And simultaneously, the blue comes from above down and stops where you see it. And then the red comes up from the bottom and stops where you see it. All three objects animate at the same time. Same thing on the exit routine. They all animate at the same time. The blue text will go from where it is upward, the red text from where it is downward, and the picture will move to the right and off screen. Okay, let's see that one more time. Okay, and now we'll show you how that's actually done. Okay, what you're looking at here is PowerPoint, and we've got three objects on the screen: the picture, the blue text, and the reddish orange text. Over here on the right hand side, that is the animation pane, and that is where, as you create the different animations, they'll show up over here, and they execute in the order from top to bottom. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is select the object, the picture, and I'm going to go up here to animation, and I'm going to go to this one here that's got the up and down arrows. Okay, and I'm going to click that down arrow, and that's going to bring up all the possible animations that you can assign to that object. I'm going to choose fly in, and once I do, you're going to see that picture is going to come in from the bottom. It's going to fly in from the bottom, which is the default. Okay, now in order for me to change how that behaves, right now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click in the pane, and now you can see I've got the it's named oval 3, and I'm going to click on that down arrow, and I'm going to tell it I want it to start with previous, and basically that means that it's going to start immediately, basically. So let me by default, every single animation, it assigns it a trigger of start on click. So I'm going to tell it start on previous, or start with previous rather, and since there is no previous, it's just going to start immediately. So I'm going to click that to assign that. Then I'm going to go back up here, bring this down, and I'm going to select effect options, and that's going to pop this up, and you'll notice the direction says from bottom because that's the default. Well, I want to change that. I want it to be from the right. So I'm going to click on that, and when I click OK, it's going to animate that object just to show me. See? Okay. Now you can play with, there are different things that you can play with, like how fast it does it, a number of different things. But for now, this is exactly what we want it to do. So if I were to hit the F5 key, which is play the slideshow, that's doing exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay, so now I'm going to select this text box over here, and notice that's two different objects there. Well, if I go up and select, you can barely see it, but there's another line because these two separate objects are actually grouped together into a single object. So now I'm going to work with that one. I'm going to go up here to animations. I'm going to go over here to select, and I'm going to tell it fly in. Okay, so it's doing exactly what the default is, which is fly in from the bottom. Well, I don't want it to fly in from the bottom. I want it to actually come down from the top. So you see now we've got these two separate ones. So let me drop that down. Again, by default the trigger is start on click. I want it to start with previous, not after previous, with previous, because I want it to happen simultaneously with the other object just above it. So start with previous. Now I want to go to effect options, and I want to change it where it says from bottom, again the default behavior. I'm going to change that to from top. Okay, and it's going to demonstrate that when I click OK. Alright, so now lastly I'm going to select this bottom object here, the orangish red lettering, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select what I want. I'm going to select fly in, and by default it comes up from the bottom, and that's exactly what I want this one to do. So essentially I'm done setting the entry sequence, and these are the animations, and they are going to happen first this one, then this one, then this one. Now this bottom one here, I still need to, right now it's by default start on click. I want it to start with the previous. Okay, so now if I were to hit my F5 key, which is slideshow, it should do exactly what I intended, and it does. Okay, so now all we need to do is create our exit routine, which is, first we're going to select this again. We're going to go up to animations. Okay, and this time I have to do add animation, and that's because there's already one animation associated with this object. So I'm going to say add animation, and these are all entry animations here. So I have to go down here to more exit effects, click that, and it's going to pop up this list of what I want, and in this case I want fly out. So I'm going to select it, and you notice it did the same default behavior, which is fly out to the bottom. And so I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to go over here and show you again. It's default start on click. I want it to start with previous. Okay, but there's one other thing that I want. Well, there's two other things I need to change. The first of which is I want it to to see it's checked, start with previous, go down here to effect options, and I want to change it. I don't want it. Notice how it says, instead of from, it says to. That's an indicator that it's an exit. Okay, so I don't want it to go to the bottom. I want it to go to the right. Okay, so then there's one other thing that I'm going to set with this, and I'll explain it momentarily, but I'm going to put a delay on here, and I'm going to assign it 6 seconds. Okay, 6 seconds. All right, hit OK. Now if I go back over here, see it's already executing it, and I go back over here, this is, like I said, they're happening in order. First this one, then this one, then this one, but these are all, because they say start with previous, they essentially are all going to happen at the same time. This one, on the other hand, I don't want it to happen immediately with this one. I want there to be, I want all of this stuff to stay on the screen for 6 seconds before it exits. So what I'm going to do, now that I've set that, is I'm going to hit F5 again to demonstrate. Comes in 5 seconds later, out it goes. So it's working perfectly so far. Now I need to do the exit routine for the lettering, the blue and the orange red. So let's go back out here, and let's say, let's do this one. Go up here to animation, go to add animation, go down here to more exit effects, and let's select fly out, and by default it's going to fly out to the bottom. Click OK. Now we need to go back over here and tell it start with previous, and go to effect options and change it to go to top, and then hit OK. And now if I hit F5 again to see it, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, boom. Okay, so it's doing exactly what I want. So now all we need to do is the very last one, and that is this one, and we'll do the same thing. We'll hit animations, we'll hit add animation, we'll go down here to more exit, where is it? There it is. Okay, and I want to select fly out, and by default it's going to the bottom, so there's nothing else that I really need to do. Now let's try it one more time. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. There it goes. Oh, I forgot to set the trigger on the orange one. It's still set at click, so let's go back over here and click on that and tell it start with previous. And now let's hit it again. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, there we go. Okay, so it's working exactly as we wanted it to, and that's all there is to it, really. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.